First things first, when you go to ChatGPT, whether it's on your computer or on your app, make sure that you've downloaded the correct ChatGPT app or have gone on the right ChatGPT website, because I've now sat down with 4 different real estate agents who've been using a fake ChatGPT. So make sure you go to chatgpt.com, or the other way you can access it is through OpenAI, openai.com. OpenAI is the company that owns ChatGPT, as well as some other things here. Now, when you open up ChatGPT and you load it, first thing I would recommend to you is to log into your account if you haven't done that already, because we definitely want to take advantage of all the things we can do within ChatGPT when it comes to going about and having it learn who we are. The way that I describe ChatGPT, it's a large language model, right, which is also referred to as an LLM. Other comparable ones, right, are, say, for example, Grok or Claude or DeepSeek, or the list goes on, right? Perplexity, there's different ones out there. I think usually the first question I get asked is which one is the best one. And I feel that really for most of us that are just using it for everyday lives, it doesn't really matter, because they're constantly evolving, they're constantly getting better. And my answer to that question is just to use one that you feel comfortable with. For most of us, it's ChatGPT. For what it's worth, ChatGPT, right, they were the first large language model to the market that really caught on, that people were downloading and using, and they're one of the most used ones today. In a class that I do, more advanced, for another day, I walk everyone through, I teach real estate agents how to actually get found on ChatGPT, because I believe that's a huge opportunity right now. I kind of compare it to when the internet came out and websites came out and people were blogging and trying to implement search engine optimization to get found online. I think there's an opportunity with getting found on ChatGPT, which is one of the most commonly used large language models right now. So, class for another day. But I think a lot of us just aren't aware of all the capabilities within ChatGPT and what it can do. So I think now would be a good time to just walk you all through what it is, how to use it, like all the different things that are within here. And first things first, step 1 is to just sign up and create an account, okay? And once you do that, next what you're gonna wanna do is down here bottom left on your computer, you can click on your profile. There's different levels. You can have a free account, you can have a paid account. I would recommend, if you're still on the free account, that's totally fine. But what's gonna happen over time as you find that you can use this for just about anything, it's probably going to shut you off, right, after a certain time period. And I think if that keeps happening to you and it's telling you to come back tomorrow or to upgrade, it might be time for you to contribute $20 a month to ChatGPT Plus so that you can use it more and leverage it more within your daily lives and business, because this is an efficiency hack, right? This is a time saver, right? Time is our most valuable asset, and we all want more of it, and we all want to be more efficient with it. And I'm going to share with you what ChatGPT can do, but also maybe just some ways that you can leverage it in your business and daily lives so that you can get more accomplished, okay? So first things first, when we create our account, bottom left, we can click on it once we log in. What you want to do, why I encourage you to create your account, is because if you don't, it's never going to learn who you are, and you're going to have to constantly train it. Also, too, fresh out of the box, right? A lot of these large language models, you've probably seen it before at this point. They respond and give out outputs a certain way, right? Whether it's for social media posts or listing descriptions or whatever, where, to a lot of us, if we've started to see these for a while, it is blatantly obvious that it's being used and being written by AI, which is fine. But I do think that we can kick it up a notch and start to personalize them more so that they sound more like you and they're better, okay? So what we want to do when we log in is, first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and click on our settings and click on personalization for our ChatGPT. When we click on that, what you're going to see is some information here on how you can personalize it so that it responds more to you and it knows who you are. So here's some custom instructions that you can fill in. I wrote, I'd like ChatGPT to respond in the first person narrative as if I'm speaking directly to my audience or crafting content myself. Because personally, everything I'm doing, whether it's for social media content or really anything, it's usually me writing something or putting something out there, whether it's writing my emails or my blog posts or whatnot. So that's where I've always customized it, right? Of course, for me, right, this is how I want it to speak. Responses should be conversational yet professional, with a focus on clear, actionable advice that aligns with my brand as a trusted resource for real estate professionals. Because again, I'm a sales rep with Chicago Title, and beyond just closing transactions and doing title insurance, I teach a lot of real estate agents how to leverage AI and marketing and social media for their business so that you can be more successful. All right, so I walk through this tone. Guys, the best way to fill this information in is to use ChatGPT to fill in the information on ChatGPT. Okay, so you could even say, I could open up a new window into ChatGPT and say, hey, I want to fill in these custom instructions, right? This is who I am. These are the responses I'm looking for. This is kind of the tone I'm looking for when you give me responses back. And then it's going to give you an output that you can leverage and copy and paste in here, okay? So that's a step one. After that is the About You section. So you want to put in your nickname, right? Or just your name, right? Jared Larkin. What's your job? Okay, I'm an account executive with Chicago Title, Colorado. And then more about you, right? So I wrote in here, to provide better responses, I want ChatGPT to fully understand my role, right? Which my role is title insurance sales with Chicago Title. So for you to be a real estate agent with your brokerage. And fill in all the information on who you are, what you do, any accolades, any of that information would be great. The best thing you can do is, again, use ChatGPT to answer this question and feed ChatGPT any information that you can share with it, whether maybe it's your website or your profile or your LinkedIn or a PDF document about you, right? Feed it this information so it can learn more about you. That way it's going to start to understand who you are, how you operate, and give you better outputs because, right, the input is going to directly affect the output, right? So if you don't put the time and effort into making this and training it and doing a good job at the beginning, it's not going to give you the best results, and you're going to constantly be battling with AI to improve it and make it better. So this is just going to save you if you just take a little bit of time to do this at the very beginning, all right? But you can see here it goes through all of the different pieces on About Me, on who I am, what I do, who I work for, etc. Down here, memory. This is a good little conversation point to talk about. This is usually turned on by default. You can see here memory, reference saved memories. We have this turned on. What this means is basically ChatGPT is going to continue as you use it to learn more about you and update itself. So as you're using and typing within ChatGPT, and maybe you want to just give it a quick update, you could just tell it. Like literally watch this. I could say, hey, I want you to update your memory that I am a title insurance sales rep with Chicago Title, Colorado, which it already knows. But watch me click this enter and watch what it does. It's just going to update its memory. It usually has a little notification up here. So just know as you're talking to the AI, right, updated save memory, it can update as you talk to it as well. All right, so feed it this information. Back on track down here. That's really it for the personalization. If you had one takeaway from this 1 hour Zoom class right now, I would just say do this, and I think it's going to be tremendously helpful for you. All right. Other than that, you've got your general, you've got your appearance, you've got your notifications. We're not going to get too far into this. You've got schedules. Okay. All you need to know here for this is that what you can do is you can have ChatGPT run tasks and perform things on schedule for you. It's more an advanced thing, but just know that it's here, right? Down here, there's again more stuff. There's data controls. There's apps and connectors, which I want to talk to you about. This is very important, all right? So apps and connectors, what is this? This is relatively new. What are we in? We're in October 2025. This was released within the last 3 to 4 weeks. And what this is these are apps that you're basically now able to give access to utilize through ChatGPT and have conversations and utilize them. So you can see here it's pretty darn limited, right? From Booking.com to Coursera to Expedia, Figma, Peloton, Spotify, Box, Dropbox, Gmail, right? You get a Google Calendar. But the ones I want you to really notice right here, because I think it will apply for your everyday lives, is Zillow and Canva, and especially Zillow, because Zillow is currently the only app for searching for homes that is currently allowed to be implemented into ChatGPT, which is very, very big, because that means that potential home buyers and sellers can now search for homes through ChatGPT utilizing Zillow's platform. All right. So I just want you to know this is here. All you have to do with apps and connectors, if you want to connect some of these, is you can click on apps and connectors and just click on the one you want. Like I'll click on Spotify and I could connect it, and then it's going to actually connect to your account, right? So I could connect it to my Spotify account or whatever. I'm not going to do this right now for the sake of time, but I will do this because my buddy was telling me about how he connected to Spotify and it took a playlist of songs that he really liked and then it optimized it into a 2-hour Spotify playlist of really good songs, learning off of the kind of music that he likes. So this is where we can use AI, whether it's from a personal or professional side. Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. Yep. Yep. So check this out. So this is important. As I said, Zillow is now integrated into ChatGPT. All right. It's a big deal. If you want to use it and search through Zillow and try it out, what you can do here is you can click on this plus button at the search box, and you can go down all the way to the bottom to more, and you can click on Zillow. All right. You have to turn it on and connect it. And now you can see here Zillow is set in as one of the apps and connectors that you can leverage. So now I could talk and I could say, hey, I want to find 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom homes that are in the Cherry Creek neighborhood that are within 5-minute drive of a Starbucks and a 10-minute drive of a True Food Kitchen, and whatever else, right? What's cool about this, the reason why this is unique and different is, as you can see here, right? If I was to go in the MLS, if I was going to search on Zillow, I can't search 5-minute drive to Starbucks, right? I can't search 10-minute drive to fill in the blank, right? This is where AI is making the shift on how people can search and find those things, right? The Starbucks thing is funny, actually, because literally my mother-in-law, who lives in this neighborhood, one of the prerequisites was she wanted to be within a 5-minute drive of a Starbucks because she's a Starbucks fiend. She's addicted and she loves it. So you can see here, though, this is important too. It's not perfect yet. All right. So look, it didn't find my search. All right. So clearly there's some unique things that need to be shifted. I've run this a few times. I've tweaked it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Let's just keep it more vague. Hey, find me 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom homes that are within the Cherry Creek neighborhood within Denver that are over $1 million, right? We'll keep it simple, right? There should be some properties within here. What I want you to take away, though, from this is that the way that people are going to search and find things is slowly shifting. I believe humans' nature changes hard, right? But what's happening, you can see here the results aren't working right now. But this is one of those things where you need to pay attention to because they're going to tweak it and make it better. I compare it to back when, let's just say even at the beginning of this year, when creating images with AI was very difficult to do. What would happen would be that the text would be spelled wrong, people would have feet for hands, right? It wouldn't match up to what you were asking with images. But you can see here now with image creation and text, AI, as of March 2025, successfully really increased and improved this. So what I want you to take away is that maybe it's not perfect yet right now, but it's going to be. And it's going to slowly shift how people search and do things. So just be mindful of that and be mindful of those apps and connectors, right? Touching back on apps and connectors because I think they're cool. Try some other ones out, right? I think a lot of us use Canva. I'm teaching a class later on this, but you could connect your Canva account, right? And now it has access to your account. And maybe, I don't know, I'll just make this up, but watch this. Make me a 1-page flyer for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home at 123 Banana Street. This is a fictitious home, so make up the images. I want to show off the exterior of the home as well as the renovated kitchen and the, I don't know, large backyard with beautiful mountain views. It's listed for $1 million. Make up some information on this and give me a flyer. Obviously, I'm just making this up, but what you can do, the key takeaway here, is you could actually plug in information on your listing and you can upload some photos, and then you could connect Canva and it will automatically give you 4 potential versions of a flyer for this instantly. All right. This is how you can leverage AI to quickly get from point A to point Z and utilize it for your business. All right. We'll come back to this and see what it generates. But what's cool is we could then click on one of these, literally open in Canva, download it, be done. All right. So again, just time efficiency hack. So just be mindful of these connectors. Very important. Okay, I've talked about that for a while, but I think it's important. Next up, we're back on our screen here at ChatGPT. Let's talk about some other stuff. So top left, right? Close sidebar, hide sidebar. There it is. New chat. Whenever you're starting a new topic or a new conversation about something, always start a new chat, right? And then all of your chats, assuming you have, your conversation history defaulted turn on, it will all be down here on the left-hand side, okay? If you're ever trying to find something, maybe you did a chat a week ago and you want to pull it back up, you could search chats here and type in a keyword, right? And try to find the searches to that chat. So that's how you could do that. Next down here, I clicked on this a moment ago. This is your library. So if you're using any sort of image creation with ChatGPT, right, this is your library of image creation that can be used. You can see here, I use ChatGPT to create a lot of images for social media content, a lot of images for blog posts on my website, and a lot of images for video thumbnails. So you can see here, I'm blogging every single day, and these are the thumbnails and the images that are being created through AI that are getting spit out here, okay? Or for thumbnails. So anyone that's doing anything with social media or video, try using this because it's tremendously improved this year on creating content for you, okay? Back over here, flyer design. Let's look at this. Canva, what did we get? Again, we gave it 0 direction. We didn't give it any directions on color or styling, so it's just, free forming this. But it went ahead and created these flyers instantly, right? So you got, here it is, 1, 2, 3 Banana Street, right? You can see here, okay, here's the exterior, here's the inside renovated kitchen. Here's one with just the exterior. So just know that this is here and you can use these. Correct, yep. So what you would do is you would upload the Remax logo, you would upload the images of the home, give the information, and then it would create the flyer for you, okay? And then if you wanted, that's a good question. I actually don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. I'll have to look into that. Probably. So probably, good question, right? See how I clicked on it though? Instantly from chat, and then now it's like a real design that I can change and fix. So just, yeah, pretty cool, okay? Create exactly what you want as fast as you want. All right, back over here. Let's go back to ChatGPT, okay? Beyond the images, we're done with that. Let's go back. Okay, cool. Next up, Codex. We're not even gonna get into that. That's coding. We're not doing coding. Okay, this is Atlas. Again, we're not getting into ChatGPT Atlas, but it's something to be aware of. They just launched this, all right? And this is important because what this is, there's a few of them out here, is ChatGPT Atlas was just launched within the last weeks. And what it is you can create your own internet browser that you can download right here. I could download this, right? ChatGPT Atlas. And it is now an internet browser that is connected through OpenAI, built by OpenAI, that I can use ChatGPT on anywhere when I search the web. So what that means, for example, is I could be on any website or web page, and then I could have Atlas take over and complete a task for me. So examples I could give you is maybe you're on the internet and you want ChatGPT to start updating your CRM, and you log into your CRM and it starts making notes for you. You want ChatGPT to start to search, I don't know, the top 10 home builders in your area, and then compose a custom email that can be drafted and written to each of them. That's what Atlas can do. It's an internet search browser that is using AI to control it and run it, okay? I use one, I haven't tried Atlas yet, but I'm about to soon. I use one, a competitor, it's called Comment. This is it right here. You can see here I downloaded it to my computer, and what I could do is I could go anywhere and I could give it instructions. Here's our local MLS, and I could have it take over and start to perform tasks for me, right? What this looks like is I can have this assistant pop over here, and I can give it instructions and say, hey, pull all of the homes that have sold in the last 60 days within the Cherry Creek neighborhood and download them for me to review. You can give it any instructions you want, but I just want you to take away the point here that what it will do is it will now start to take over the internet browser, figure out how to complete this task, and then do it for you, all right? So this is the same thing that OpenAI ChatGPT's Atlas is doing as well. This is important. I think that this is not being talked about enough. I believe that this is a huge pivot in how we're going to be doing things in terms of just life and being efficient. Because look at this right now. This is now your own AI assistant that the sky's the limit. You just have to think of the tasks that you want it to do for you, and then we'll go and complete those tasks. Look at that. It's searching, it's running, it's going to pull anything that closed. Yeah. Yeah, you could. It's doing it right now. Anything you want. Look at that. Closed, 0 to 60 days, Cherry Creek subdivision. Right, it's going to load this. Okay, it found 14. I'm going to stop it because I don't want it to download these, but it will. Yeah, so think about all those tasks in your daily lives that, right, that maybe aren't your highest and best use of time, that maybe you could start to outsource and have AI do for you, right? Maybe it's data entry. Maybe it's searching through your emails to find things. Maybe it's, again, composing emails that you're using for prospecting to target certain people, right? It can do a lot of these different tasks, all right? So I would say key takeaway number 2 is to just look into more of this, whether it's ChatGPT Atlas or this one over here is called Comet by Perplexity. It's been around longer. I've been using it for a couple months now, all right? But these are going to be, I truly believe, the future, and a lot of people don't know about these. Back over here. All right, that was Atlas. It's right here on ChatGPT. Next up, these are GPTs, all right? So the way I describe a GPT is it's essentially, a GPT is essentially some sort of pre-created task that has been programmed and prompted for you that you can access and add to your ChatGPT and utilize for various tasks. So the best way I could describe this is probably just show you. You can see here I'm now on the GPT screen where I can explore different GPTs, right? Here's one for Expedia where you could connect this and it's going to help you plan a trip. Here's one for Canva, but important note, this is not the same thing as what I showed you before with the Canva apps and connectors. It can help utilize some of Canva's features, and it was pretty good up until they released this, but if you're going to use Canva, just connect it to your account so that you can do more activities, all right? But GPTs, there's tons in here, all right? What do I have? I've got a few that I've downloaded. A lot of them that can be shared. If you share them or create one, you can download them, use them, and what's nice about them is they can help you complete some sort of everyday or weekly or monthly or quarterly task that you are trying to do. So here's one that I have that is created by Jason Pantana on helping real estate agents create custom blogs for their website. So this is a GPT that I connected to my ChatGPT. Now it's going to ask me some questions because Jason programmed this thing. If I fill in this information, right, let me say, hey, I want you to write me a blog post on, I don't know, why selling in the spring is the best time in the Cherry Creek market in Denver. And I want this to be specifically seller advice. And I want to use this for a blog post. Okay, you feed it this information. And then it's going to start to listen, ask questions, and then it's going to go ahead and complete that task for you. Do you want me to research this topic, or are you providing notes, a file, or a link? Research this topic and then give me the blog post. Okay? So if you were blogging or really doing anything, right, this would be an example of something you could do. So obviously it's being detailed, which is good, right? This is all the things that probably we didn't give it or think about that it's going to fill in. Let's be keyword specific on Cherry Creek Spring Home Sale. I like that one. And let's just pretend that I am a real estate agent with RE/MAX and I'm an expert with 25 plus years, and the call to action is to call me at 303-630-9430. All right? Like it's detailed. Why are these cool? These are cool because someone already took the time and effort to ask it all the questions that maybe you didn't think of when you're trying to complete this task and do all of the heavy lifting for you, right? So here we go. Here's my blog post. Cherry Creek spring home sale. Why spring is the best time to sell in Cherry Creek, Denver, right? And it's giving me all this information, right? And then I can copy, paste this, tweak this. So this is an example of a GPT. Here's another one. This is an MLS photo description generator, right? So if I wanted to plug in quick photo descriptions of photos for my listing on the MLS, I can do two things. I could describe it, or I could just upload the photo and have it write the description for me. Because don't forget, AI, right? ChatGPT, these large language models, they can not only, you can write to them, but they can also absorb information, whether it's uploading images, uploading spreadsheets, uploading PDF documents, right? Video files, and it can interpret all of this data however you want to feed it, all right? Next up, that's GPTs, all right? A little bit advanced, but just know they're pretty cool if you want to check them out. Okay, next up, down below that is projects. Projects are similar to GPTs, but I'd say the main difference between a project and a GPT is that they are consistently customizable and you can always tweak them and change them. Versus if you download a GPT or create your own GPT, it's set in stone and it is what it is, and it's not going to ever go off the path of the instructions that were originally given to it, okay? If I'm gonna take a huge step back here though, on like, I think to conceptually for you all to really understand like what these are and how they work, all they really are is it's just someone who took the time to create what's called a prompt, all right? Now, what is a prompt? A prompt, here are some examples of some prompts, right? A prompt is something that was created for AI to get you from point A to point Z to give you the end result that you're looking for. So let me give you some examples of some prompts that I've created and acquired over the past year and a half, right? I could open up, let's say, this folder. Here are some prompts. Here's a prompt that will help create ad copy for Facebook and Instagram ads to help promote a listing for sale, right? Here's a prompt on improving your listing description for the MLS, and it can write it for you, right? You could essentially explain the information or upload the information on your listing, and then it will create the listing description for you, which I know a lot of agents use ChatGPT for, okay? So these prompts, all they are, right, in theory, if I wanted to use this listing description generator prompt, I could just take this and highlight it and copy it, right? And I could go into ChatGPT, and I could just paste it in there, right? And here's a prompt, and now it's probably gonna prompt me to give the information on the property and explain it all, and then it's gonna do it for me, all right? So now that you understand what these prompts are, the reason why we have them is if Jamison Olsen wants to go and create a listing description and she starts opening up ChatGPT and talking to it, you know, write me a listing description, whatever, the problem is that she might be forgetting some important things that she should include in the prompt. And the prompt is essentially already someone who's taken the time to perfect the output that you want and give you the end result, all right? So now that you understand like these prompts and what they are, you guys, and by the way, I'll share this folder with you. These are a variety of different prompts. I'd encourage you to check these out. Go in, look at them. There's a lot in here that can do a lot of different things, from blog posting to helping you with optimizing your listing strategies, to listing presentations, to analyzing MLS data, all right, to creating market reports. These prompts would basically do all of the work for you. You just have to choose the one that you want to use, all right? So, we understand a prompt. You have a goal. The prompt that you have helps get you to the end result of that goal, okay? Now let's pretend that you are using this consistently. Let's say, for example, right, you got a bunch of listings and you keep getting more, and you need listing descriptions that you have to plug into your local MLS, right? And it takes you time, all right? This is a repetitive task that you're doing. How do we optimize this task and make you more efficient at it, right? We can go into that listing optimization description prompt and copy and paste it in ChatGPT every time on repeat, which is fine. Or we could create a GPT for it or a project for it. All right. So basically, all it is, let's just say it's a project. All it is your original prompt already saved within ChatGPT inside of what we call maybe a project. And then you just talk to it and it does it for you. Okay. So let me give you some examples, right? Here's listing ad copy generator, right? Here's what I did. I did this last night for someone, right? I was helping someone run some Facebook ads, and this is a prompt that will create ad copy for them to run Facebook and Instagram ads to help promote their listings that have been sitting on the market for 1 million days. All right. Okay. Down here, let me give you another one. Maybe you want to do one to optimize your bio. Here's one for writing like you for social media. For those of you, if you're listening to this, if you're doing anything with social media and you want to have AI sound more like you and have it not sound so robotic and so generic AI out of the box ChatGPT, it would be most likely in your best interest to create maybe a project that you can train it on to then give output that sounds like you, okay? And I know I'm going deep here for some of you, but I just want to share with for those in the room that might want to do this. You could create a new project right here, name it like I did. I have it right here. It's called Write Like Me Social Media Posts. And what I could do is I could upload files that explain what I want it to do and then how I want it to sound. And guess what? Back over here within my ChatGPT prompts folder that I'm going to share with all of you, I have a prompt that you can download and use. And it is called Write Like Me Prompt. Okay, look at this. If I scroll down to this, look what it says. Study how I communicate in the attached writing sample. Pay close attention to my tone, phrasing, rhythm, sentence structure, word choice, and personality. Then create a reusable style guide that captures how I talk and write. This goal is to make this guide detailed and specific enough that someone else can follow it and reliably write in my voice, regardless of the task or topic. Avoid vague summaries like casual or professional. Instead, be specific about the traits you notice. For example, pay attention to all these things, right? Pacing, rhythm, transitions. Okay, so what you could do is you could take this Write Like Me prompt, download it. You could then upload it into ChatGPT as a project, okay? And then all you're missing here is just some examples of how you speak, how you talk. So you could upload maybe some sort of blog post that you wrote, or maybe there's something that you wrote that sounds like you. Or even better yet, if you create any sort of video content of you talking, you could upload that video content, or even better, the transcript of you talking of that video. And AI is going to learn how you speak, how you flow, and then you can now leverage this to create content that sounds like you using AI, such as social media posts, blog posts, video transcripts, right? Scripts, anything you want. It's all in here. I'll give you some examples. Here's some past projects where I have it trained to automatically take a post and give me an output. And it will create all of my social media caption and content for all of my platforms, from Pinterest to YouTube to Facebook to Instagram, to then it creates me a blog post and so on and so forth. And it writes and sounds like me instead of like AI. All right. This would be obviously more advanced for those that are at the lower level of AI. I just want you to know that this is out here. This is how you take AI and you train it to really sound like you and use your voice. Now, why is this helpful? It's helpful because now you can outsource this work that you might not have time for and have someone else do it for you. For example, right, my virtual assistant is responsible for running all of my social media. She's in charge. All I do is give her the content. She's in charge of going in here and creating all of the social media content behind it, and it automatically sounds like me. My biggest fear with hiring someone to take over my brand and my identity was they weren't going to sound like me. This is the secret sauce to having someone sound like you. Okay? All right, moving on. That's projects. So, in summary, GPTs, projects, I would say if you're completely lost on this, just start with focusing on projects and think about any sort of repetitive task that you're doing over and over again, whether it's creating a listing description or social media post or whatever, ad copy, or maybe even you're doing video content and you want to use my prompt that helps create a script for you on what to read on for your video, right? That could be a project that you create. Okay. Also, just remember, I'm going to share all of these different prompts with you. All right. Go in here, go crazy, download them. That video one is actually really cool, you guys. I don't know if anyone's actually making any videos, but this is a personalized video script generator. So again, you open these up, you can follow the instructions, go to the bottom. This is actually a fun one. I'll show you this real quick. I can highlight it, copy it, go into ChatGPT, right? Paste it in, and it's probably going to ask me, what do you want to make a video about? But basically what this says is, for those of you, if you're making any video content and you want it to be up to 60 seconds in length, this will help script the video for you. I'll just say, yeah, I want to make a video on the best time to sell in Cherry Creek, sure. And how about in the month of, I don't know. Actually, let me redo this. Let me say, I want to make a video on 3 things to avoid before selling your home. Go. Okay. Let's see what it does. Look at that. All right, it's doing it right now. So look at this. It's now generating a script for a video that I can read that flows. It's 60 seconds or less in timing. That I could, if I wanted to make a quick video, I could highlight it and copy it. I could put it on a teleprompter. I could read it off of my phone and record that video. Okay. So guys, I know I'm kind of jumping around here from Zillow to Canva to social media to listing descriptions to prompts. I'm trying to give you guys kind of like a buffet of everything. So I know for some of you this might be a lot. I would just say key takeaways is just to take away a few things from today. I'd say number 1 is to personalize your ChatGPT over here like we talked about. 2, maybe just click around and try some of these things and just know they're there, right? And then 3, right, slowly, gradually start to expand your mindset on all of the different things that you can have AI do for you, okay? Obviously, this is a lot for a lot of us, I know, so just baby steps here, okay? So, yeah, go ahead. Yep. Sure. All right, let's do it. Okay, one more thing I got to cover here is when you start a new chat, I talked about this a little bit, but when you start a new chat, you can do a few things here from the search box. You can type and talk, but one thing I would encourage you all to try out here is there's this little microphone right here. It says dictate. On average, humans, we speak 4 to 5 times faster than we type, right? It's going to be different for all of us, but the consensus is we speak faster than we type. I don't know why we're typing if we can just talk, right? So I could just click on this and start talking and say, hey, whatever, write me a listing presentation for ABC, EFG 1, 2, 3. And then, oops, I did that wrong. Let's just talk here about this. Remax is the best. Click the check mark box, and it's automatically going to turn everything you say into text, all right, which is faster. So know that. Also, be aware of this plus button, which can do a lot of different things. One, right, is uploading files and documents. Like I said, images, videos, spreadsheets, PDFs, whatever, and have AI read it. Down here is deep research. This is important. This is a button that you would want to press if you are trying to really have ChatGPT take the extra time and work really hard for you and do deep research within the internet to give you a very good output or result, right? So what are some examples of why you might want to use deep research? Maybe you want to make a super hyper local home buyers or home sellers guide on a specific neighborhood in your market. Okay, you could click deep research, talk to, explain, hey, I'm a real estate agent in this, whatever, and I want to make a very, very great guide on everything from restaurants to coffee shops to things to do to activities, right? Family activities, whatever, all that. It's going to probably, once you click that enter button, it's probably going to take about 20 to 30 minutes to go out through the internet and give you a very polished, very, very lengthy result that you can leverage and download and utilize, okay? Or maybe you want to do a listing presentation, right? And you could have deep research analyze a specific real estate market and do that for you. The difference between deep research and just typing on here and typing in information is that AI is not going to work very hard for you and source as much information unless you click the deep research button. It's still going to do a good job, but think of deep research for anything from where you really wanted to go deep in the internet and do a long, long, long output for you. All right. That's the last things I want to share with you. Let's share with you some other ideas. So getting back into, let's go to the MLS. All right, let me close this out. Guys, here's a thought. You have access to your local MLS. Guess what? You could download data out of your MLS and have AI analyze it for you. All right. So for example, one thing that's going on, some of you might have some listings that are sitting. And one thing I'm sharing with agents is they could go into their local MLS and they could download data out of the neighborhood where their listing is and have AI analyze it and then create a report on why maybe their listing is overpriced and use real data to share with the home seller on why they need to drop their price when using real data to compare numbers and create a report for them, okay? So I'll run through an example on that real fast. Let's just say I want to download some data out of my MLS. First things first is you want to search for information, right? Maybe I want to go and pull anything that closed in the last, 90 days within, a mile radius or within a neighborhood of an address, okay? I would type in an address here. Let's just say it's this one, sure. What I can do, I just want to walk through like the practical process of how this would work because it can apply in so many different ways for you, is I could type in an address and I could run a search for, let's say, anything that closed within the last 90 days of that's not a good address. Let's try something else. Sure, this one, and download that data. So I'm showing 81 properties, all right? But I don't have to filter that much information. Let's just make it super challenging for AI. What I'm doing here is let's pretend I have a listing in this area. I just pulled really fast anything that's closed within the last 90 days within a 1 mile radius of my listing. And I want AI to analyze my listing versus, all the properties that sold, right? I could take all this data and I could export it and download it. And I can upload it into ChatGPT and have ChatGPT analyze all of the information, all right? Within your MLS, you can export data into a CSV file, a spreadsheet, all right? And you can then have all that information in this spreadsheet. I'll show you here what it looks like, and have it quickly crunch the numbers and look at things that maybe you would miss that would take you hours to do. Look at this. Here's 81 properties that have closed in the last 90 days, right? Everything about them, from the private remarks to the public remarks to all this information that would take us as real estate professionals hours to analyze versus, it would take someone else a lot less time to do. I could go over here into chat, and remember guys, we can upload all sorts of documents and files. I could take this spreadsheet of these PDFs and I can have it analyze them. Let me do this now. Let me just find a property that is currently on the market. I'll just go like this. I'll go active within this address, and I'll just pull something so you guys understand what I'm doing here. All right, let's just go Cherry Creek East. Sure. Get rid of this. Because what I want to show you next is how we run this type of search. Cherry Creek. Okay, here we go. So look at this. Let's pretend you've got a listing that's active. It's been on the market for quite some time, and you believe that it's overpriced. And maybe you have to have that conversation with the stubborn seller who doesn't want to drop the price. Well, it's kind of hard to argue with data when you're just looking at real numbers and you're presenting them. Here's the numbers, right? Let's see here. Listing contract date. This one's been on the market since June. Let's go with this one. Okay, here's a property. Look at that. This is what $327,000 gets you right here, guys. In Cherry Creek, Denver. Let's go. Look at this. Nice. Nice. All right. So here's the best way to do this. This is important. If you want AI to analyze anything about your listing or your property, let's pretend that this is your listing, this is your property. Instead of like typing into AI, like this is the information, this is the address. If you already have the information active within the MLS, just print and download all of the information out of the MLS, okay? So for example, here, I can click on this, let's pretend it's our listing, and I could click print right down here, print PDF, okay? And I can download all of the information, full property view of this property, and print all of the data. Click print to PDF and save it to my computer. Why am I doing this? Because I want AI to know every single unique nuance about this property, from the description to the price to the location to the zoning to the images, because AI can even read the images of the property and have it analyze it. All right, how cool is that? So what I've done here is two things. I have downloaded the subject property information, which, by the way, for those of you that just want to see what this looks like, right here it is. Look at, here's that MLS input, but it doesn't stop there, right? It goes listing history all the way down to public record information, mortgage history, where it is on that map, to the actual images itself that AI can read. Okay, it's got tons of data in here. I've uploaded it here into ChatGPT, as well as properties that have sold in the area that we're going to have AI try to find comps automatically for us and run an analysis for us, okay? So last step is we're going to take one of the many prompts that you have access to now and have it run a report for us, okay? So within here, I'm going to click on listing optimization. Where the heck is this? Strategies. I moved some things around. Not this one, excuse me. It's going to be under analyzing MLS data prompts. All right. And within here, I've created two prompts for you, right? One of them, price reduction angle generator for stale listings, which is one. They're very similar. One allows you to look at active properties. One allows you to look at closed properties. But here's one on seller conversation about a property that's been on the market for a while that you may want to get sold. All right. What this basically says is, hey, analyze the subject property, analyze the spreadsheet of sales, find the actual potential comparable properties, and then run an analysis on why those properties have sold and my property is not sold. All right. So what I'll do is I will take this entire prompt. It's 2 pages. I'm just going to highlight it. I'm going to copy it. Okay. I'm going to go back over into ChatGPT. I'm going to paste it in here. And then press the enter button. Now, it might take a little bit of time, but it's going to get to work. It's going to read the documents, start to analyze. Right, here we go, 2 Adams Street. Start to figure out maybe why this property hasn't sold. So let's see what it says. Key market insight. Buyers are paying more for move-in ready Cherry Creek condos with modern updates, because guess what? It can read those images of that property. It's not the most modern, right? Your condo is beautifully remodeled. Okay, fine. Probably because it says that in the description, right? It's pulling in all the data. 2 parking spaces, 750 square feet, right? Within the Cherry Creek condo market, it's now analyzing all this data, because what it's doing is it's taking those 81 sales, but it's only looking at the comparable ones, and then it's comparing them to the subject property and then completing the analysis for you, right? Condos priced just 3 to 5% higher than the most recent sales in this segment are averaging 120 plus days on market, right? Units that reduced to within 10,000 of the buyer comfort zone, around this number, went under contract within 3 weeks, right? This is pretty cool, guys. It's analyzing all this stuff super fast. The Cherry Creek condo market is signaling price sensitivity, not lack of interest. Yeah, condo market's been tough out here, right? Strategic recommendation. It's going to give you some adjustments and recommendations. Let's adjust the price to 314 to 319,000, right? We believe this is the sweet spot. We could relaunch with a fresh first impression. Maybe update the main photo. Maybe update the headline and the emphasis, and emphasize the 2 parking spaces, because we believe, based off of the properties that have sold, right, this is something that's important to home buyers in this area, right? They're looking for 2 parking spaces versus 1, right? Highlight the ownership costs on what you get with the HOA, right? Talking point for your seller. We're seeing that buyers in Cherry Creek are willing to pay top dollar, but only when the price matches what they're seeing per square foot, right? Right now, most sales are at $415 per square foot. We're here, we have to make adjustments. So guys, I actually did this very, very quickly, and I've got a few minutes left, but I want to just share with you, again, like, open up your mindset on how you can leverage AI for your business, from analyzing MLS data to doing analysis on spreadsheets for you, to creating images, to creating video, to just making a simple listing description. It's all there, and I just wanted to hopefully kind of give you a buffet of different things you can do when it comes to leveraging AI, and more specifically ChatGPT.